What's up, superstars? On today's video, I'm going to show you guys how easy it is to create those popular UV DTF cup wraps. And if you're wondering how they create it so perfectly so that it aligns easily with the cup, this is the tutorial for you guys. I went ahead and started watching some YouTube. I got some inspiration from this creator here, and I think she does a very, very good job. So we're going to watch this together, and then I'm going to talk a little bit about it before we get to the actual project. Now, I did want to mention I'm going to be playing this without the music due to copyright issues. So you're just going to have to use your imagination, but I will take a look at it with you guys so that we can see this together. So let's go ahead and watch the video. All right, she uses those popular glass cups that you can get off of Amazon. Obviously using a vinyl cutter, a Cricut machine, using pink. UV DTF does multiple colors, so that's also a benefit there. She has to weed everything, which usually would take a bunch of time to do. Yep, she's gonna have to laminate it, then she gets to clean the cup. She's using that roller. I think she handmade that one. I'm gonna show you guys our version that we purchased. And there you go, bada bing. Coffee, coffee, coffee. She does a really good job. I think that the design looks great. I really like what she did. And I think that we can do a better job, or at least something similar to it. And you don't have to be a design genius to create this, because we're going to be using Kittl, which is an online designer tool that makes it super easy to design with. And we're going to be using that to design our UV cups. So let's go ahead and head over to Kittl and let's take a look at this project. All right, guys, first thing you want to do is to head over to Kittl. We're just going to go ahead and go to the main screen right here. And first thing you're going to do is click on New Project. Now, in this particular case, because I know the exact dimension that I'm going to be using, I can just go ahead and fill in the exact size of the artboard. If you are unsure, I would always just do 300 dpi resolution, always set the unit as inches, and always export it very big, because you can always shrink it down rather than increasing it, so that this way you'll retain a high resolution image. Now, in this particular case, because I know the exact dimensions that I'm going with, I'm actually going to create a custom artboard at 9.3 by 4.3 inches. Now, this is the exact size template artboard that you want to create for those glass cups, which I'll also have a link below in case you guys need it, but it's easily available off of Amazon. But this is the dimension that is needed and required. Now that you have the artboard set into place, first thing that we're going to do is we're going to start looking at Kittl and some of the texts that they use to recreate that coffee design. So there is different style graphics. You can use titles, decorated badges, some letters, gradients. You can even go to elements and use some letter mask if you want to add in some images behind the letters. In this particular case, I'm just gonna go ahead and click on the decorated text. I'm going to look, and I kind of like this coffee signature here. And it already says coffee, so it's kind of easy for me to use. Let me delete this extra copy. And again, this is a 4.3 inch in height design, so I'm going to eventually have to resize this. But before I get into all that, I'm just going to kind of mess around with some of the color schemes here. So instead of brown, I want to change it to kind of go with a pinkish color. So let's just go ahead and go back to the reds. Let's find a nice pink color, more red. Let's find it. That's too red. Well, let's choose that for now, and then I can always edit that after. So let's go ahead and come here. Let's go ahead and choose a pink, and then come back to here. This is the outline. I'll worry about that after. So let me choose another form of pink that it can fade to, something like that, like a two-tone. And then this one, I can also change it to, let's just stick with another pink, or this one of the pink colors. Let's do a white outline actually. How about that? White outline. And if you need to see the background, you can always click on that, or change the background color if you want to change the background color to like black, let's say, if you want to look. Oops, there you go. If you want to see it in black, that might help with some designing. So after you get to this point, let's say you want to change the text. I actually know of a text that I think would look good for this type of design called Silly Days. I think it looks good for a cup, and then we're going to change the positioning of the cup. So we're going to try to get this to a curve. So you just hit transform, you can see the angle there. If it's too much, too little, you can make some adjustments. I think that's a good adjustment right there. So now let's go ahead and do some resizing. You can just go ahead and pull it to this right size. And then let's say you're happy with that position. I'm just going to hit Alt, and then I'm going to hit Shift, and then I'm going to do the exact same thing like so, and boom, there you go. If I don't want this to be on the very top, I can just go ahead and move it down a little bit like that. And you see how the gap is not great right there. You can actually click on like tidy up, and that will align everything for you. If you need to center everything, this will also help you center it. I think it overall looks pretty good. I like the orientation of it so far. Next thing I want to do is add some elements. I think she had some flowers, so let's just go ahead and look for some images, and we're going to, let's see if we look at artwork. Is it artwork? Yeah, let's look for some artwork, and then let's look for some, we don't want textures. Let's see what would show up if I type in like a cute flower drawing. I'm just basically searching up Kittl's database of some pre-drawn flowers or ornaments. You can actually use AI to create some of these from scratch if you want, but I'm just going ahead and search up their database just to kind of take a look. And if you're not familiar with Kittl, there are some of these symbol badges here. That means it's a premium feature. You will need the premium account in order for you to print that out. I kind of like this design. I think that looks pretty good. Kind of don't like the yellow that's there. Let's see if I can choose that. I'm gonna use that as an option. I might go with that, I might not. And there is so much, so I'm already at the bottom of the page, and I don't know if it's my internet that's not keeping up with all these images, but they have a ton on their database, so you just have to wait. Even though you're at the very bottom, just wait a minute or a few seconds and then start scrolling. It'll keep populating. Let's keep looking until I find the right style. I'm kind of like this drawing type image. This is good too right here, so let's choose that one in case I like that design. All right, seems like nope, I'm not there yet. It's still loading. It just takes some time, so I don't know when it would actually stop, but maybe that's it. So that's the end of the page. Let's see if I like any of this. If not, then I can always generate another image off of the AI tool. So let's see, these are our two images. Let's resize them down real quick and then see if I like any of them. So for the coffee cup, I kind of like this. All right, so I'm happy with this design here. So let's just go ahead and make it a little bit smaller. Well, before we do that, let's go ahead and change some colors. So again, what's a nice feature about Kittl is you can actually change the color very, very easily by just clicking on the actual image, and then you can edit the illustration colors, and it knows the document colors, so you can easily just click on this orange that was preset to and choose the pink that you want to match the document. So I like the darker pink for this occasion, so I'm satisfied with the white and the pink here. I'm just going to go ahead and scatter this design. So I'm going to hold Alt, and Alt kind of makes it duplicate of this design. So I'm just going to kind of make it like a template. I'm going to spread it around kind of like so. I can add more if I want to later on, but I think I'm pretty good with that part of things. Now I want to add some beans to this, some elements. So let's go ahead and go to Kittl AI, and let's try to generate an image. So let's try to generate, I want to put some little coffee beans here. So let's keep the same flavor. So kawaii, cute coffee beans. And let's see what it generates. That's not what that's not bad actually. I'm just gonna keep this one on the side. I may use it and just clear out the background. Let me see if they have other options. Click out of that, let's generate another option. And if I like this one, let's just go ahead and try to do a background removal real quick. That one is pretty good too. Let's go, coffee bean. Let's try it another, again. You can keep populating if you're not happy with it until you find something that you like. So now it's a whole different look to it. I don't really like it. So let's see. I kind of want it more in a coffee bean shape. So sometimes just adding a word or two might change the way that it prompts up. So I don't want that one. Let's go back to this one. Let's see if Copilot works this way, if it has some suggestion, or if we just want to use change to, well, let's not do that. I'm just gonna go back here. Let's see, cute coffee bean with face. Let's try again. I'm gonna delete this one. I kind of like this one out of everything. Let's shrink it down. And let's just do like that. And I'm just kind of spreading things out so that it looks more natural, or a better placement actually. And there you have it. Looks pretty good to me. Everything is pretty good. Spacing is not completely even since one side has more than the other. But if you want, you know what, you can just click on this, delete this whole thing, highlight this whole section and bring it out that way. That way it'll be even like how you wanted it, or how it's definitely going to be even now with 5 instead of 4. And let's spread this out. So bring this lower a little bit. All right, similar but different. Okay, so now that everything is here, you have different options. So you can actually remove the background here and download it, or you can just go ahead and click on download. It's the exact size. Click on remove background, and then you will get your transfers. 300 DPI, boom, perfect. All right, so now what you want to do is you're going to go to Transfer Superstars to order your DTF transfers, or I'm sorry, in this case, your UV DTF transfers. So we're going to use our Gangsheet Builder Pro. We're just going to use the small, this 22 by 12 sheet. This is a $20 sheet. You can go ahead and upload your artwork that you just created, and you click on this, and you'll know that the size is a 4.3 by 4.1, which is similar, very close to the template and artboard that we created earlier. And after you have this, you can just go ahead and hit duplicate. If I want to, you can actually move this up a little bit. Let's move this whole thing up to the very edge. Actually, I won't be able to fit anymore. So let's do this. So let's go ahead and do a quick rotation. Let's try to fit more this way. All right, 4 wraps. And then let's go ahead and save it. Go coffee, UV DTF, cup wrap with Kittl. And then I always like to date things just so that I can always reference back to either this invoice or this date of creation. You're gonna go ahead and add it to cart, and we're gonna go ahead and get this printed for you. Now let's go ahead and take a look at the results, and I'm gonna also show you guys how we get this onto a cup. All right guys, so we've got our UV DTF transfers printed. We made a gang sheet, but we are just gonna go ahead and use one of these for now. I want to go ahead and talk a little bit about the design, some of the measurements, how we're gonna place this on, and a bit of a tweak that I'm gonna be doing to the overall print. So let's take a look at the measurements. Again, guys, I created these exactly at 9.4 inches wide by 4.3 inches tall. So I'm gonna get to the top part of the print. 4.3 is basically what I have it at. And that gives me a perfect wrap around these cups that we get from Amazon. So I'm gonna hold it in place. I'm just going to mock it up just to kind of see. And one of the things I did notice about this particular design is that I made this too close to this as I was designing it. So I actually can go either way. I can remove one of these or one of these. I think in this case, I'm just gonna go ahead and remove this floral design here, and I think overall it'll be better. And I can go ahead and wrap it cleanly. Now, I did cut these very, very close to the edge because you definitely don't want the overall varnish film to go on top of each other because it's not gonna peel proper. So first thing we're gonna do, let's go ahead and remove this extra floral piece. And that's what's nice about UV DTF, because technically you can use this for something else. Here, anywhere, you have an extra print that you can use independently. So now this is going to be where I'm going to set it, and I think it overall looks better. So let's just go ahead and give it a quick alignment, and there you go. It is wrapped, it is aligned. I like that exact location. And I'm gonna go ahead and lay my tape on here. So I'm just gonna use this tool. There you go. That's how I'm going to want this overall to be. And I'll remove this before I get this last edge on here. Okay, and as you guys can see, I did not use the laser system. You can use this system if you want to kind of align things up. For example, we kind of keep this in place. I put markers here, I go up 2.5 inches, and that gives me my midpoint. But because this is an overall wrap, it's not very, very crucial for me to hit the middle. I can just go ahead and give it a pre-wrap like this, and I can kind of see where the midpoint's at. So that's what makes it easy for these wraps versus having something that you have to align right in the center like you would if you had an example like this. So now that it's taped, let's go ahead and get to the wrapping. Now I know a lot of people actually go through this and push it down a bit before they start peeling. That can be something that you should do if you have a supplier that does not laminate it very, very well and you need that extra pressure, but you don't necessarily have to do it. Now, I am going to use a microfiber cloth just to go ahead and clean out any fingerprints or anything that's left behind. We're not gonna use alcohol or anything like that. It's not necessary with UV transfers. So now that everything is lined up, and again, this wrap perfectly mocks and wraps around, I'm going to go ahead and pull this aside like this, and we're going to go ahead and bend this over so that it can start peeling. So let's go ahead and pull this over. I'm going to keep some tension right on the glass. Use one hand to hold on to the film and one hand to hold on to the glass, and I'm going to go ahead and slowly slide down like so. Slowly move the glass, keep giving it a lot of attention. Now this part gets a little tricky when there's not a lot of area for you to hold. You're just gonna continue to do the same. Now I'm at this very end right here. This gets a little tricky because I don't want to put it over this tape right here. So carefully remove some of this tape so that you have a clean edge. And then I'm gonna go ahead and wrap this around. All right, now that everything is laid nicely, you can go ahead and grab your squeegee, and you are going to carefully squeegee down all the corners, anything that has an edge. It is more important when you have, let's say, these rose petals, that you go through all the edging here so that the rose petals don't break up when you lift. All right, let's go ahead and now remove the clear. So I'm gonna go ahead and carefully peel. Again, you're not pulling up away from the glass, you're actually pulling sideways. You see how I'm going back and forth, getting angles? That's the best way to do it so that you're not forcefully peeling against any of the print grain. In case for some reason you have an area that's not fully pressed down, you can actually stop and use your squeegee to go through it again. So again, left and right, slowly, be patient with it. All right, we're almost at the last row. There you go. Let me just go ahead and put some backing behind it so that you guys can see how it looks. There you go. Now this is dishwasher safe, microwavable. We do recommend letting it sit for at least 24 hours before getting this wet. That way it gives it a chance to have the varnish completely seal the transfer. But this will last you a very, very long time. Again, dishwasher safe. If you make sure that you have all the areas pressed down, this will last a very long time. Again, let us know if you guys have any questions. We hope you guys found this tutorial helpful and you guys learned how to do and create something simple like this using UV DTF. If you guys need a supplier, make sure you guys check us out, transfersuperstars.com. And again, these are UV DTF transfers. My name is Phil, and I'll catch you guys on the next one.